Welcome back for another edition of the Preps Plus Insiders. I'm Mike Finnerty of the Sure West Sports Show, joined as always by my partner Joe Davidson of the Sacramento Bee. And Joe, one of the great assets for the Sacramento Bee is their photographers, and they got some good shots recently.
Well, and the Sacramento Bee high school photo of the week in our mind is Randall Benton, who displayed how dominant and how big that Sean Matua of Grant High School is. Look how big he looks like he's about to engulf Coach Mike Albergini. And so we did a story on their size, loud and proud, big guys, really big guys, bigger out there in Del Paso Heights than anywhere. And then we saw them transition into Elk Grove for the big showdown the other night.
Yeah, and the theme of that game, really, Grant taking on Elk Grove, 7-3 winners for Elk Grove, was the defense. And I'll tell you what, it's small versus big. It's Grant's size versus Elk Grove's smaller size but quicker defense. And again, theme of the defense went 7-3 is defense.
Yeah, and you can win a championship with that kind of defense. Noah Latui-Gassanoa at number 12 plays linebacker. He's got 12 of his team's 34 sacks. Spencer Sheff, Guan Canada, Dior Vela. That's a heck of a defense. And anchored in the secondary by Shenard Hart's son of defensive coordinator by the same name. 7-3, and Grant can score. It's a good-looking offensive team when they get rolling, but not against the Herd. So that's a championship defense, and wouldn't that be something to see that defense against Folsom, maybe in a section championship game?
That would be fun. And again, credit goes to Grant's defense as well. They only allowed 7 points, so can't forget that. All right, Joe, let's talk a little bit of social media etiquette and how it's transitioned in some areas of sports. Recently, Casa Roble played Del Campo, a long-time rivalry. They had a fisticuffs there. Rumor has it that there was some social media bantering that started all that earlier in the week. It just kind of comes up recently, and it's come up this past week.
Yeah, and it's really become a problem. It used to be when we were in high school in the 1980s that the way to kind of spice up a football rivalry is one school goes to the other and toilet paper's the place. Now it's social media trash talk on Facebook and Twitter and Ask FM and things like that, and it just gets out of control, and it really shows the immaturity of some of these students or student athletes. And our thinking is, if you're a football player or a soccer player, just be a leader. And if you're not a player, then really you need to be quiet. And the Casa Roble Del Campo game, it just kind of brewed off of social media, and then the game had some bad blood, some helmet swinging, some fist fighting, and you know, just got nasty. And that rivalry has become an unhealthy rivalry. They will no longer play in football, those two teams. Those two teams have played since 1976. Norm Ryan of Casa Roble, he said it was a final straw. Del Campo coach Mike Domino says, I can't argue that point, and it's a shame that it's gotten to that point. And there was some bantering back and forth with Jesuit and Folsom in football. Keep it classy, guys, or stay off the social media.
My advice to any high school out there would be to have a social media etiquette, rules, and then have consequences, because all it's going to do is get bigger and bigger and bigger, that social media, and you got to find a way to control it. And you know, as we've talked about, it portrays your school. So how you behave out there, again, puts a big picture on your school and how it's perceived.
And not only that, Mike, but people are watching. Mm-hmm. And a lot of scholarship schools, Division I, Division II, Division III, NAIA, junior colleges that offer scholarship, they watch Twitter feeds and social media. And if they see some boorish behavior and bad posts, they will eliminate that person from their want list. Same with people who were not athletes, but they want to get into a certain college or get a good summer job. They get eliminated because they're acting like buffoons. Smart kids, sometimes they don't always make the smart decisions. This is a chance to do it.
No. All right, let's talk about the stuff we like to talk about. That's the action on the field, and we got some big-time games coming up this Friday. We love league play. We're right in the thick of it, and it's all going to start with Granite Bay playing at Del Oro, perhaps the best, most intriguing rivalry out there in high school football for Sacramento. You know, this is going to be interesting. Forget what's happened in the games leading up to this one. Granite Bay lost to Rockland, Del Oro win over Roseville. You throw all that out, and it's an evenly matched game.
You know what? People say throw it out, but they won't throw it out because it's part of the build-up. And Del Oro, we know what the Golden Eagles will do. Go to Dylan Cainrath. He's become the workhorse running back for the Golden Eagles under Coach Casey Taylor, who wants to use a smash-mouth style. He's got 10 rushing touchdowns in the last 3 games. That's the key there. And then Michael Moore is also a very effective quarterback for Del Oro. Granite Bay, no Tony Ellison, but have 2 good-looking receivers, including Dylan Keeney and Mark Ellis. Josh Neal has played really well at quarterback as well for Granite Bay.
And watch out for Michael Garrity of Granite Bay. He's an impact player for them. It's going to be fun. We know the crowd's going to be huge. Another big matchup, this coming in the Capital Valley Conference. You've got Casa Roble at Rio Linda, and this is a matchup of two different styles. You got Casa Roble with the spread them out passing offense with quarterback Peyton Wilfley. On Rio Linda's side, they're going to beat you up and they're going to run it right down your throat with Leo Scadaboo and Marcel Brown. I am so intrigued to see how this one plays out.
Yeah, and these are two coaches that get along well. They like each other. Mike Morris in his 23rd season at Rio Linda, and Norm Ryan over at Casa Roble. And when Norm had that nasty game with Del Campo, the first coach he called the next morning was Mike Morris. And so they're trying to figure out, how do you do this? How do you problem solve? What do you suggest? So some good blood there. Keenan Hunt for Rio Linda might be the unsung player in this game. He could catch touchdown passes for Rio Linda, played on defense and special teams. He might be a player who could really turn this game.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun game to watch if you get a chance to go out there. Continuing right along, a Delta River League showdown, a Saturday matchup that has the Pleasant Grove Eagles playing at Jesuit to take on the Marauders. Jesuit got a little bit of humble pie against Folsom. A lot of teams do, so no shame in that. Then you got Pleasant Grove that's rolling right along, 7-0. Dre Terrell, their quarterback, weapons everywhere. How do you see this game?
It's a winnable game for Jesuit if the Marauders could get their 1-2-3 offensive punch going. Jason Ellenberger, who likes to go to Isaiah Baylor, the receiver, and then the running backs, Bo Bicheret and also Ben Parietti, have to get that run game going, have to get it going to negate what Pleasant Grove has, and that's an advantage in speed. And a real challenge for the Galley crew over at Jesuit High. They're always trying to get their student body to get out there, get the student body out there for Jesuit. That's a good game. It's going to be nice weather. Why not root on your guys? That's a chance to really see your team maybe make a surge, the Marauders.
Get out there, Jesuit. Fill those stands. It'll help you in the long run. All right, another big matchup. This one coming in the Sierra Valley Conference. You've got Vista del Lago going to Casunas Oaks to take on the Wolfpack, and this another intriguing game. You've got quarterback Matt Jemison for Vista del Lago, their star on that side, and probably for Casunas Oaks, lots of guys. But back is Crop, their quarterback, playing well, and they've got some D1 weapons on that.
Yeah, team. Alex Van Dyke is a wide receiver going to UCLA as a verbal commit. Very impressive player, hard to stop, 6'4". LJ Reed's the other receiver. Last season, the game was at Casunas Oaks. Vista del Lago won late. This time it's in Folsom. Both teams are hammered with injuries. The winner here takes the Sierra Valley Conference.
I agree. Well, those are your big-time matchups for this Friday. Be sure to get out to those games. Lots of great action all around Sacramento. Remember, you can catch the Sure West Sports Show every Tuesday on Comcast Sportsnet California at 4:30. Also re-airs on Wednesdays and Thursdays. And we do a little radio show.
We have Faces Much Better for Radio every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on ESPN 1320. Also linked later, podcast form, ESPN1320.net. We're in the Sacramento Bee every day, print version, and on SacBee.com, digital version.
We like those all. You'll catch us pretty much anywhere. All right, Joe. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and we will see you next week.